This week, during my daily reflections, we'll be looking into God's Word amidst the continuing chaos of the coronavirus 3 months after lockdown. We'll be praying into different dimensions of this complex crisis each day. I'm going to be daily addressing various themes of depth in the time of distraction, courage in the time of containment, hope in the time of hype, and breath in the time of death. Beginning today with Christ's invitation to love in a time of fear. Let me start by reading from John 4, verses 15 to 19. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in them and they in God. And so we know and rely on love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God and God in them. This is how love is made complete among you, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In this world we are like Jesus. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. We love because he first loved us. Everywhere I look right now, there is still so much fear. The news is still scary as we worry about a possible second wave. There's fear in people's eyes as I walk around shops and people step off into the road to avoid coming too close to me as I walk past. But the Apostle Paul says that God's perfect love drives out fear. The Greek word for driving out here is boliai. It's the same word used of Jesus driving out the moneylenders from the temple and casting the demons out of the oppressed. It's forceful. Love doesn't just soothe our fear. It isn't polite. There is a violence about the way it kicks terror out of our hearts and minds. It's important to face the facts, even when they're scary, but even more important to focus on the ultimate and enduring reality of God's love. A story is told of the Apostle John, who wrote these words. In old age they would carry him from place to place, church to church, barely breathing, the last remaining connection on earth with the human Son of God. And whenever he arrived anywhere, crowds would gather to hear and see him speak. And with great effort he would sit up on his stretcher and the room would fall silent, hushed in eager anticipation. Love one another, he would cry. Love one another. He would then lie down, his 3-word sermon over, and he'd be carried to the next congregation. In the end, as one very old saint said, the only thing that will matter is how well you loved. Let me leave you with this thought today. How might I drive fear from another person's life today by the simple power of love? Let's close in prayer. Father, help me to live this day to the full, being true to you in every way. Jesus, help me to give myself away to others, being kind to everyone I meet. Spirit, help me to love the lost, proclaiming Christ in all I do and say. Amen.